What's up, guys? It's Broman. Holy shit, we made it all the way here with episode 7 of Ask Broman. Oh my god, thanks for tuning in. If you're listening on iTunes or Stitcher or Google Play or SoundCloud or hopefully Spotify, I don't know if we'll have that done by the time this goes up. If this is your first time tuning in, hi, I'm Professor Broman. I'm a broadcaster on Twitch, and I do a whole bunch of other stuff too, like run a big charity convention and own a coffee company. And we do this show live on Twitch 2 or 3 times a week. Today is November 13th. It is a Monday, a sticky, hot, and spicy Monday. And yeah, we're just gonna take some questions from these fine and wonderful folks, and we're gonna see what it is. You know what I'm saying? That's basically the gist of the show. As you can tell, I am an absolutely fantastic pitch man, and as you can also probably tell, I am just the absolute best at telling people what the fuck is going on. People usually don't like Mondays. I'm actually a fan of Mondays. Okay, Mondays are fun because you get to start your week. Like, you get to go out there and you get to fucking tackle all of your problems and stuff. It feels really good. Okay, feels really, really good. Right now, I am fighting with my my voice interface program. I use Discord. Now it can hear me. Awesome. Cool. So we're going to grab, let's get this guy or gal, not spoken before. What is up, the second vowel? How are you today?
Hey, bro, man. I'm awesome. How are you?
Oh, I'm so good, and I am so much better now that I'm talking to you.
Yeah,
sure. Yeah, that's right.
I appreciate
Get appreciated, you jackass.
Oh, you're awesome.
What can I do for you today, man? How you feeling? How you doing? What's up?
Good. I kind of binge watched your YouTube series today, so I was pretty excited to see that you were going live on Twitter. It was pretty exciting.
Oh, nice. Awesome.
Anyway.
Thank you for tuning in.
Yeah, well, normally I catch the VODs. I'm, working all day, so I don't get to watch you live. But
working's fun. Working's fun.
Working's not fun, but you
oh,
gotta pay the
working sucks.
Right.
Gotcha.
Anyway, so I've been streaming for a little while. I kind of picked up Twitch, back in August, and got affiliated real quick.
Cool.
And then everything kind of hit this plateau.
Yes.
And I kind of feel like it's kind of because how I run my stream.
Okay.
So I stream with a group. We basically raid pretty much all the time in Destiny. So
yeah,
there's a lot of ancillary talking going on.
Yeah, crosstalk, stuff like that.
Yeah, a lot of communication with the team or whatever. And when we're trying to do something ridiculous or whatever, you don't have a lot of time to talk with your chat or if new people come in or whatever. So I feel like I'm not hooking, the random viewer that stops in, and
because you don't get a chance to talk to them as much as you'd like. Is that
right? Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
So and then there's other times where your buddies are just being jackasses, and
yeah.
you know what I mean. So
do you know you know my goddamn raid team, bud? Yeah.
Yeah.
I can relate.
So I don't know, with the way that Destiny 2 kind of feels right now, I feel like maybe I want to kind of branch out and maybe not do that sort of constant party chat thing.
Yeah, of course.
But then I feel like my all my viewers kind of expect that now,
Sure. Yeah.
We're kind of known as we're those guys who suck at raiding, you know what I mean?
Oh, okay. So it's a fun time.
Yeah, it's we're not super serious.
It's a fun time, and you all suck ass.
Pretty much.
That's
yeah.
that's a good hook, man. As long as you're not raging at each other, I'd want to watch that. Hey guys, you want to watch this? It's gonna take them 10 hours. It's gonna be fucking great.
So yeah, yes, kind of. But we make a lot of fun of each other, and it really helps with the I guess the flow of the stream because it's like fairly entertaining. At least I think it is.
Yeah.
But I guess my biggest fear or whatever is that like if I go and I try and do some other game that like maybe it's not going to be as engaging because I won't have those people with me.
I gotcha.
So,
I gotcha.
do you have any sort of like advice?
So yeah, you got a few things going on. So let's crack them all out. Okay. So
right.
like the first one is like you're used to you broadcast with the group exclusively. Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're used to working with them and all that stuff. And so if you wanted one approach, you could just be like, listen, guys, like are they broadcasting too?
One of them is. The others kind of just like hang out with us,
Yeah, okay. So like you could legitimately just say, you know what, guys, like I want to focus more on my chat, so I'm gonna like mute myself occasionally if somebody comes in. I might have a conversation with someone or something like that. Like you could try and work that into your regular routine. That's a really low effort change.
Right.
And I'd recommend like kind of starting there. But aside from that, like branching out and doing more with your viewers is never bad. Like, my management team, OPG or Online Performers Group, they have I have one interesting take on channel growth. They have another one. And one of the big things that they believe in is, if you pay attention to the way the cycle of the games industry works, it's, there's always going to be games that people are going to be looking to purchase. So if you do your due diligence and you do a little bit of research, you can find games that are either coming out or that are out currently that maybe aren't really well represented on Twitch. And streaming those games, especially if it's a game that, like, let's say it's the number 5 on the Steam charts, right? But it's like you can't even fucking find it on Twitch. This happens all the time. Picking up and playing that game, if it interests you, puts you in a really good position for discoverability, because one of the first places people who are used to Twitch come to get a game review is Twitch. So these folks are going to say like, oh, okay, like, man, I can't believe this is crazy. Nobody's streaming, Cow Murder Deathmatch 2010 on Twitch, but it's like the number 1 game on Steam right now. So like, what the hell? Here you come, right? And you're like, yo, I'm totally going to stream Cow Murder Deathmatch 2017. And like, it's crazy. Check out how cool my cow looks. He's got a minigun. And you'll have a lot of just natural organic traffic because you're working in synergy with a marketing team for a game, whether or not they're advocating and promoting your stream, but you're putting yourself in a position where people are already searching for content about that game. So that's a really safe and logical way to start branching out. If that makes sense to you, if that's something you want to do. So I'd say in the short term, absolutely, try and work on your chat interaction, see if you can make it happen with your raid team. But as you're trying to like grow your channel, it's important to, incorporate variety and get comfortable with it, and then get comfortable with the back end statistical stuff on Twitch as well. I think that hit all the bases for you. I think so. Remember everything. The one more thing I wanted to say is you said you felt like you hit a plateau.
Right.
Sure. Yeah. That is normal. Every broadcaster on Twitch hits plateaus. They exist for everyone. There's even something that I would argue, like there's a hard cap on what you would consider an average concurrent viewership that any stream can attain despite its popularity. And it seems on a day-to-day basis, that seems to be around, 30 to 40,000 viewers, because there is ultimately a limit to how many users are on Twitch, how many users can be there at a specific time, because Twitch is live. It's not like YouTube. So you're only going to get concurrent viewers when they can tune in. So plateaus are normal. The best thing that you can do is look inward instead of outward. Because if you look outward, you're going to look at everybody in the whole fucking planet. You're going to be like, well, this guy has more viewers than me, and he's a piece of shit because he swears a lot, and I hate that. And like, I don't like this guy, and I don't like this girl, and I don't like any of these people, and they don't deserve any of their success. And all that's going to do is keep you from progressing. If if you feel like you're on a plateau, look inward, like look around, see what other people are doing, see how other people who are kind of pulling your same concurrent viewer count are managing it. Maybe look at one or two of your peers that have grown outside of the concurrency that you're at. Like if you're usually pulling 10 and you got a friend that suddenly started pulling 20 on average, like take a look at what he did. See if he or she did. See if it's something that you can duplicate in a way that's authentic to you, recreate it.
Right. Yeah. That's my biggest fear is like, I guess I don't want to look fake. You know what I mean? So
yeah, authenticity is important, but I think that in the never ending race to be as authentic as possible, people start to, purposefully rebel against like traditional artistic practices. Like, when you're learning how to draw, and anyone who is listening and you've been learning how to draw, there was something, you copied something first, right? Like whether you were drawing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and you were just trying to duplicate the Ninja Turtles, like, or it was anime, or it was, Link to the Past, like whatever it was, like you started by tracing or copying something else. And yeah, it was still crude. And through doing that, you discover your style and you become creative within that platform. Twitch is the same way. I think it's incredibly important to watch other broadcasters because it's going to enrich your perspective as to like how different things can be approached on Twitch. And the other cool thing about Twitch is you don't have to bring your ideas like to market right away. You can sit there and brainstorm like, okay, so this guy has a point system and he uses his point system like this. And I think that it's a really good utilization of this guy's, point system. But like, I don't want to just straight rip it off. So what can I do differently? How can I make it my own? The same as you would do with any other piece, any other sort of creative profession. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So like, don't straight up rip off anyone. Don't do that. But absolutely, like, find their framework, copy paste it into something, like an intermediary form, and then learn from it and try and evolve, like make your own concept out of that. I'm trying to think of things that I've done on my stream that I did that with. Like I didn't used to have an intro, and then I noticed a lot of other broadcasters had intros, and I was like, well, why the fuck do you have an intro? So I went around Twitch. Why do people have intros? Why do people's intros all seem to be almost exactly 10 minutes long? And what is this magical 10-minute number? And then I found out like, and this could be archaic now, but 4 years ago when I implemented my intro, it took about 10 minutes for Twitch to send out all of the email notifications to all the people who followed you. So basically it let your stream start with everyone being present that could. So I made my own intro. That's like a really small example. So
sure.
I hope that helped.
Yeah, no, it definitely did.
Yeah, no, I felt like I gave you 3 kind of like all over the place answers, but it's all definitely applicable to the questions you're
my questions
right now.
aren't very on point either, but like it just, it was something that while you were, well, I guess kind of not while you were talking today, but while I was watching your videos today,
sure,
it was like this thing that kept creeping up in the back of my head, like if I could ask him, what would I ask? And that was kind of the thing, is like I stream with a bunch of idiots, and they're
the other
loud,
thing
we're
is
all loud, and
I wanted to highlight this for you because I like to give everybody answers, but I also want to let people know what they're doing right. The fact that you have like a really fun group of friends and you all shit around and you have a good time means that your channel has organic culture. Like that's, people know that if they're tuning in to watch you, you're going to be that kind of person because you're that kind of person with your friends. And that really lends itself well to further development because everyone who ever watches you starting from now on is going to understand like you're the guy that's going to hang out with them, and shit around, and it's going to feel like you're just, oh, I like watching Second Val because it's like I'm chilling on a couch right next to him, hanging out and playing video games.
Right. That's kind of what, like, when I started the stream, everybody's like, well, what do I want my stream to be? And I was like, I just want my stream to be like a bunch of dudes hanging out, playing video games and like bullshit,
Absolutely. That is 100% how I started my stream. I said, I want to stream on Twitch so me and all of my friends that don't live together anymore can hang out and talk shit. Just like we used to. And anyone else who shows up, I'm going to treat them the same as I treat all the rest of my friends. And now I'm here. So it's a good format. I'm a big fan.
Well, if I have like 1% of your success, I'll be thrilled. So.
I want you to have like 10 times more of my success. So that way I can be like, I knew you win. And maybe I could call on a favor one day and be like, listen, man, I really want to get pizza with you. Coffee. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, dude, that is what I got for you. Thanks for tuning in, and thanks for you watched everything today, all the other episodes.
Yeah, man. When you're like bored at work, what do you do?
Oh, well, whatever, man. I mean, that's the whole point. I wanted to start making content that was easier for people to consume at work, so that's why I started doing this.
It was perfect. Yeah,
yeah.
My job is super boring. So,
tell everybody where they can find you, my man.
Well, you can find me on Twitch and Twitter. Just at the second vowel. No underscores, no weird crap like that.
Fucking love it. All right, man.
That's it.
Awesome, dude. Well, thank you for asking your question. Go follow the second vowel, guys. Check him out. Sounds like he might be in the same place that I was about 5 years ago. So wouldn't it be cool to get in on the ground floor somewhere else? I think so.
All right, thanks.
Go give the man a follow. You have a great day, dude.
All right, thanks, you too.
All right, man. Peace. That's really cool, man. That's like he has first of all, he had great questions. Second of all, it was confirmation that like of all the goals that I have with this, like content that's easier for you to watch while you're at work and, you know, podcasting and stuff, it's already working. Which feels really, really good. Let's see. Who do we got here? I always try and look for people who've been like pestering me on Twitter a lot. Because that's a great way to get my attention, is to just tweet me all the time. Yo, when are you doing Ask Broman? So we're going to get this guy. Venges1313, and we'll wait for them to unmute. And we'll see what's going on. But yeah, oh man, I love doing this, dude. It's so much fun. Yeah, the second vowel, guys. That's the guy. Boom, see, he posted it in chat there. Maybe I'll remember how to make it happen on all the YouTube platforms too. I want to start linking everybody in the other stuff as well. All right. Well, Venges is apparently very scared and will not speak. Oh, hey, Venges, what's up?
Yo, what's up, man?
Not much. Let me turn you down. I'm glad you got your shit working. I would have been hella sad.
Sorry.
It's okay, dude. That's life. That's what happens. What can I do for you today, man? You've been like tweeting me, and like you're one of the main reasons I did this at this time, because you're always asking. I think it's you that's always asking for like, you doing it this afternoon?
I post quite a bit about it.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Good. What can I do for you, man?
So I got a couple of questions for you.
Absolutely.
So I myself am a small streamer.
Sure.
Who got most of my inspiration to start streaming from you.
Okay. I'm honored.
And I recently got an email for Twitch affiliation.
Sweet.
And I guess I just want to know what you think of that program and
the affiliate
what
program?
you think with people that should go into it. Yeah.
I mean, I have a lot of opinions about the affiliate program. So let's see. I'm trying to think. I love the affiliate program because it presents a stepping stone to partnership, right? So for those of you guys that are, if you're listening out there on any of the podcast platforms, you don't know what an affiliate program is on Twitch. Twitch in the old days used to just have general broadcasters and then partners, and partners are the ones who can make money on Twitch from Twitch, and everyone else couldn't. Twitch added a tiered system before you become a partner, and it's called an affiliate, where you have access to some of, but not all of the monetization on the Twitch side that you can get as a partner. So this is how I would approach it if I was in your situation. Okay.
Okay.
It is a learning tool. Okay. And it is there to help you figure out how you would want to structure monetization on your channel. When it first came out, I was diehard about how like, oh, it was bad and it's terrible and blah, blah, blah. And like, part of that was just, fear clouding my judgment, which happens to all of us. And I care a lot about other people, and I know, like, for me, the path I took worked, and I was like, well, then everyone else is going to have a similar path. But times change, so grow up, old man. So, you know, the big danger with being an affiliate is the same danger that you can have in any form of content creation, whether it's art or music. It's trying to monetize your content too quickly. There's so many blogs dedicated to this and posts of, you know, like artists who are doing, you know, they do web comics and they go to a convention and someone in the hall asks like, hey, I just got my first 1,000 views on my web comic. What's a good t-shirt company? And it's like, you're totally missing the point. Okay.
That's jumping right towards the money.
Yeah. You're jumping towards the money. You're getting ahead of yourself. The structure I've always taken with my channel is I provide all my content for free. I don't paywall anything at all, ever. Never have, and I'm never going to. So I think that's the best way to do things. Being an affiliate really shouldn't change the way that you stream that much at all, other than the fact that for the people who are there for you all the time, they now have an option to support you inside of Twitch with, you know, emotes and things like that. I think that it's a great program, and it also allows you to experiment with some things, some alternate, you know, like, okay, now you have a sub button, so you get emotes. How are you going to work with those? Like, what sort of emotes do you want? What sort of style do you want? It gives it a really real, tangible opportunity for experimentation. Whereas when you got partnered before, it was like everyone wanted your emotes, and you got partnered, and you're like, well, shit, now I need emotes, and like I don't even know an emote artist, and you know, it gives you a chance to sort of take things a little bit more slowly. So that way, when you launch fully into partnership, or like a higher tier of monetization, you have this groundwork and understanding of like, okay, like this is how income works on Twitch. So I think it's a really good program. I think that, like, for the Twitch economy as a whole, I think that it has some interesting drawbacks, but I think that is more because of Twitch's current situation. Like Twitch is killing it, but their new user acquisition isn't growing at the rate that they are allowing monetization to happen across all of their other channels. So, you know, essentially it's like, yeah, more people have the opportunity to make money, but they're still the same, or, you know, a lesser growing at a lower rate amount of money to be had by everyone. So that's just an interesting economy problem, and I don't think that there's a moral good or bad side of that. I think and hope that Twitch is going to start focusing really hard on new user acquisition, bringing people in from all over the internet, because it is a very strong live platform. But you know, if Twitch doesn't start to innovate around new user acquisition inside of the next couple of years, I think they might be in a really bad spot, which would put everyone on Twitch in a bad spot, including affiliates. So there's there's both sides of the coin. Another really interesting thing, and then I'll end it with this for you. I got a message on Facebook. From someone who also just recently got affiliated. He has 600 followers. He streams pretty regularly, and he's got 50 subs.
Holy shit.
And 600 followers. Which, like, is that going to push him to full time anytime soon? No, not at all. But that is, to me, a really shining example of like how deep and meaningful the connection you have with your viewership is when your channel is growing and when your channel is air quotes small. One of the big things about Twitch that matters a lot is the depth of the connection that you have with your viewers. And look, if you have 1,000 followers and all 1,000 of those people sub to you, you're fucking doing awesome. And it's a possibility with the affiliate program. You know, it allows you to experiment with it. Allows you and shows you, you know, the true level of depth that you have, or it's a depth measurement. I won't say that like money directly equates to depth, but if you're getting 50 subs and you have, you know, 600 followers, that's a pretty surprising level of impact. So I reached out to him to sort of give me more information because I'm super curious about how he runs his channel and all that other stuff, and I want to go check him out. But that's just sort of shows you the kind of, I guess, success monetarily you can have even as an affiliate, when a lot of people sort of write it off like, oh, I'm an affiliate, now I'm going to get like 4 or 5 subs, and here's this guy with his numbers that blow my mind apart.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those are my thoughts. Do you have any follow-up questions? Did I bring anything else up to the brim of your mind right there? Anything going on?
I think that answered that question. I did have one other one.
Love it.
That came up recently.
Yeah.
So like I said, I'm a small channel. I just hit, I think, 119 followers.
Sure.
And
Congratulations.
Thank you. I had a viewer offer to like send me a gift.
Sure.
Like they wanted to buy me what was it, like an Xbox Elite controller.
Holy crap. Okay, nice.
And I didn't really know how to respond to it.
Sure.
Did you ever have anything like that come up early on, or even like now?
I mean, like, I didn't set up a mailing address for the stream for like 4 years because, you know, I was just like, nah, I'll pass.
Yeah.
You know, I think that stuff like that's awesome. You know, it's somebody who obviously cares about you and your content, and it's coming from a good place. And if you're coming from a good place too, i.e., you know, you're not being a greedy cunt, which I don't think you are. You know, you seem like a nice guy, and you seem like you're doing this for the right reasons, and you were shocked and all that good stuff. You know, you could set something up with like an Amazon wish list so they don't get your address or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, there's no problem with stuff like that. You know, it's just, you know, it's part of your channel growing and learning how to manage, you know, things like that. There's not really a huge difference between someone giving you an Xbox Elite controller and, you know, someone coming to my channel and giving me like a tip that's like $200+. It's fucking mind blowing. And every time it doesn't stop being mind blowing. You know, so it's an early opportunity for you to learn how you want to handle that. I can't really tell you. I would do what feels the most comfortable to you. And obviously make sure you protect your identity, you know, traditional security stuff. Don't give anybody your, you know, actual address, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, it definitely threw me for a loop, and it, because I mean, the guy seemed really genuine about it, and I like to think that they would be, because I don't like to think anything immediately negative of people, but it was just an unusual thing for me to hear, especially just being a smaller channel. So
yeah, man. Absolutely. You know, but if you want to, you can set up a PO box. They're usually not too much. And yeah, man, I wish you nothing but the greatest success going forward.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Growing and having fun and figuring out, you know, what makes you unique on Twitch and all that good stuff. You want to let everybody in the universe know where to find you now?
On
the whole
Twitch
universe is listening. Okay.
I'm not ready for this.
Oh shit.
Twitch and Twitter are both the same. It's at Venge1313. It's
Can you spell Venge?
VENGZ.
All right.
1313.
All right, man. And that's everywhere. Twitch, Twitter.
Twitch and Twitter, yeah. Those are my. I only use Twitter as far as.
No Instagram, no YouTube.
No YouTube, and I don't have a streaming Instagram or anything set up. So
you gotta get on it. Get your hustle on. That's all good, man. That's my other piece of advice is you're starting out. Start getting used to doing all that stuff early, so you don't come into the game late like me and be like, fuck, man, if I've been doing Instagram for 5 years instead of 3 months, I'd have 200,000 Instagram followers, but I have 20 because I started in January. So you know, that's just a little thing to keep in your mind for the long term.
It's definitely something to think about.
Absolutely, man. All right. I love you. I hope you have a good day, my guy.
You as well. Thanks for the chat, bro, man.
Yo, anytime. And if you got any questions or you want to do follow up, you can always tweet me.
I will definitely do that, as I've been doing already.
Awesome, dude. I'll talk to you later.
All right. Thanks, man.
All right, man. Good questions. Lots of streaming questions today. This is what I thought, like, This was like what I was expecting more of when we got started. We've had some interesting episodes up to now. Let's try this person's name is just Legend. So let's get Legend. Hello, Legend.
How are we doing?
Hi, we're doing good. Let me turn you down. All right, I got you. What's up, dude?
Just first, I wanted to say, I think you're awesome.
Very nice.
I found you on YouTube, surprisingly, not Twitch. And ever since that, I've been completely hooked. I guess my question was, I was thinking about doing like a podcast or something like that.
Excellent.
But I wanted to know if it made sense since I'm like so small in my space.
Sure.
And I wanted to know, like, I've watched like so many of your videos, and I've watched like other content creators on Twitch, their videos on YouTube, and one video I always find missing is like a video on podcast creation and the mindset going into that. Like,
yeah.
I can't find it.
Interesting.
So I wanted to see if you could shed some light on that process and do's and don'ts, so I don't set up a podcast that fails.
Sure. Okay. Huh. All right. Well, let's go with I'll just go with what brought me to start doing this. And then we'll go from there. So I'm a big believer in trying to put your content out in as many different ways as you can. I really, when I started Twitch, I felt that way. I was like, yeah, I'm going to do everything. And then I got really exhausted because it's hard to do everything and also have a primary focus. So I sort of let all the other stuff fall off and I focused on Twitch. Probably one of my biggest regrets in content creation so far is not putting in the, extra hour a day it would have taken to like snip something from the stream, put it on YouTube, just post a dumb face on Instagram or whatever. So in an extension of that, I decided to start doing podcast stuff because I wanted to be able to make content that people could consume at work, right? So people could get their Broman fix at work on audio, because audio, apparently, podcasts are like just disgustingly overconsumed at work. Like everybody is listening to podcasts at work right now. So I wanted to get
I do it myself.
Yeah, I wanted to get into that space. As far as format, I like helping people. It's like a core part of my personality. It's probably one of the biggest drivers that I have, like as a human, is helping other people. So the format of the podcast is an extension of my personality. I like to help people a lot. I like to give advice. I like to try and help people work through problems. It's something I've done my whole life. So the Q&A format sort of fit. And I liked, and I have a couple of things that I'm relatively good at. One of them is, live broadcasting, or I've been successful at. So I decided to do this podcast as Q&A. So that's what got me to doing the Broman podcast. And if you want to go a little bit further back to the Jam, even though I wasn't part of that podcast, which if this is your first time listening to my podcast, I have another podcast. It's with my friends Kevin and Corey. It's called The Jam. It is a podcast about nothing, just like Seinfeld is a show about nothing. And it's stupid. Kevin and Corey started doing The Jam because Kevin is a huge fan of podcasting. It's just something that he loves doing. And so they started doing that about a year before they brought me on regularly, just because it was like a fun extension of their life already. So the core trend here is podcasting works really, really well if it's an extension of who you are. So finding what sort of personality traits that you have that you are exemplary at, whether you're excessively curious, or you're very analytical, or you're funny, and your friends are funny. Finding a touch point to sort of focus all your content around is really good, whether it's a podcast or anything else. But I find that the podcasts that I'm drawn to, since I've recently started listening to a lot of podcasts, are people who are knowledge experts and people who are like excessively curious. So they always have like really good guests, they have good conversations, or they're just giving out really, really good advice because they've done a lot of things in their life. So my first piece of advice is find out what that is for you.
Okay.
The second part is don't try and do it by yourself. Podcasts with guests are way more fun to listen to than a solo podcast. So whether it's just two people, which is the format that I like the most, or if it's you and a reoccurring guest, having people on and around is good for a couple of things. One, it helps drive conversation. And since podcasts are audio based, if there's dead time, people are like, did this guy pass out? They'll stare at their phone and be like, did my Wi-Fi break? So you always want to be, talking, and that sort of assists with that. So have a guest and focus on one of your things that are the most uniquely you, because the one thing that you have when you're creating content that no one else has is your life experience and your perspective. And you are essentially using that as the leverage to drive you as a personal brand, which is, you said you want your podcast to be successful. I don't know how many, downloads or listens or whatever that means to you. But that's what drives growth, is figuring out how to leverage your personality into your product.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All
Whole
right,
bunch of information. So,
yeah,
I'm
gonna have to come back.
No. So my follow up with that is, have you looked into the hardware technical side of podcasting?
No, I'm kind of like new to it.
So this is going to be really overwhelming at first, because this actually scared me away from doing a podcast. Like when T-Rex and I started doing Streaming 101, we were just going to say, fuck it, not put it on iTunes, because podcasting was like, God. Now it's gotten a lot simpler. So I use a platform called Simplecast. I believe you can also host your podcast feed on iTunes now, or not iTunes, on SoundCloud as well. And those are really nice user-friendly platforms that just allow you to upload your audio, add all the tags, and then it'll send the feed out, or it'll provide a feed for you to hook into
Gotcha.
everything else.
Okay. All right, cool. I'm gonna have to come back and watch the VOD and take everything in. But thank you. Thank you for the time. Really do appreciate it.
Okay, a couple more things from chat because this is why I like doing this live. If you're listening to this chat, my live chat has perspective on things that may be outside of my base of knowledge. So Audrey, who's actually my account manager at OPG, says one of the most popular Pokemon related podcasts started out as one person and remained that way for a while. So it's definitely not saying that you have to have a guest. If you're good at talking through things and you're always talking or always providing audio that's pleasurable to listen to, obviously you can go that route and you can do well. And clearly, since it's an audio format, audio is important. So make sure you start learning as much as you can right now about how to provide the best audio quality that you can.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, man. Is there anywhere that people can find you right now if they want to get on the ground floor of the Legend podcast, or whatever you're going to call it?
Well, I've been streaming Star Wars Battlefront for the past 2-3 months. Now tonight's the big night. So if you're looking for Star Wars Battlefront content, you can find me on twitch.tv/legends. I'll spell it out. LXGENDZ _ I'm not a big fan of the underscore, but hey
man, I'll make sure you post that in my chat room after you get off.
All
here.
right. And same for Twitter. Legends, same spelling, just without the underscore.
I got you, man.
But thank you again, Broman. Really do appreciate the time you took out today.
I thank you for listening and watching and supporting me. It's like the least I can do. Appreciate you, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, have a good one.
You too.
Bye. I love it. I love it, man. Setting up a podcast is a goddamn daunting thing at first. There's, I'm a really seasoned vet.
Man, you've come into the.
Oh shit! Room. No, I'm a really seasoned vet. I was just in the wrong chat room there. When it comes to like hardware technology and stuff like that. And I thought like, oh, I'm comfortable with this. Like, I won't get scared by podcasting stuff. And the first time I approached it, I was really overwhelmed. So that is definitely something that there is not a lot of information out there about. And it makes me want to maybe make some content for that, which would be very interesting. All right, let's grab this guy. His name is the Vanguard, and it looks like he has a Pokeball, so I'm not really sure. What's up, the Vanguard?
Hello?
How you doing,
Holy
bud?
crap.
Oh my god, hang on, you're hurting my ears. Oh shit. All right. What's up, my dude? You're good now. Oh no, he went AFK. Hello?
Hello?
What's up, dude? What can I do for you?
Oh, snap, this is happening. All right.
Yeah, this is actually happening. It's not a joke. This is not a
Well-
fucking drill.
I just want to say I like the content, and I really liked the King's Fall raid, and that's like one of the only videos I go back to over and over, because it's awesome watching you guys kill the king, and then
Taking
you just
yeah, Oryx. So, yeah, for those of you out there listening, this is my one gaming accolade that I'm proud of. Me and the rest of my clan. I guess we have a clan name now. Our Bungie clan name is my dad is Bungie, so we were the first team in the world to take out Oryx in the King's Fall raid when it launched. That was Destiny 1's big expansion. So that's what he's talking about. If you don't know, I have a question for you before we get to your question.
All right.
You ready? I'm always curious about this. What brings you back to watching the same video on YouTube more than once?
Watching like the progression that you guys made, like learning the fights and stuff,
Sure.
and also like the reactions that you guys had, like when Oryx first popped up and T turned around and he was like, holy shit, this is real.
Yeah.
And it was just,
I gotcha. I'm just always curious because as a consumer, I am a one and done sort of, content consumer. Like, okay, I watched it once, I don't want to watch it again. So I'm always trying to get like a peek behind, folks that have different viewing habits than me. So thank you for answering that question. What can I do for you though?
all right, well, question. So they keep acknowledging the raid that's going to come out in Curse of Osiris as
Okay, sure.
new raid content.
Sure.
What do you think about that? Like, what do you think they're trying to reference and stuff like that?
Oh, when Bungie's talking about new raid content for the next DLC? Huh. Okay. So for those of you who are listening, this is a question about, Destiny 2 and the first DLC. The raid content is considered the capstone, player cooperative content in the game. The raids are, and so there's a DLC coming out soon. And yeah, so I don't know, man. For me, I don't really know. I like to leave the boxes uncheckmarked. Bungie's usually very methodical with their word choices about types of content. So at first there was like no mention of a raid at all. It was a new cooperative activity, and then the language changed to new raid activity. So using the little understanding I have of how methodical they operate everything, I would say this. I think that Bungie views raids as 6-player activities that encapsulate difficult encounters in the end game. So is it going to be a traditional raid like we may have experienced with Vault of Glass or King's Fall? Probably not. Otherwise, they would have said new raid. They said new raid content, which probably means that there might be a new 6-man activity that is endgame related that is different than what we've experienced before. I know some people think like, oh yeah, it's gonna be like they're gonna bring back the old Vault of Glass raid. It's gonna be like, it's gonna be a thing. I mean, it could be a 6-person horde mode, which would be a raid style activity or raid style content. In my book, I would fit that. I could shoehorn that in there. So I mean, those are my thoughts. As far as that is concerned.
Or question.
Sure.
In school right now, and one thing I really kind of struggle with is like procrastination.
Oh yeah.
And I was wondering if you may have I don't know, like had something similar.
You're asking if I procrastinated in school. You son of a bitch. No. Yeah, I did a lot. Procrastination was huge for me in school because I fucking hated school. I didn't like it. I have found that when I connect with subject matter, and when I was growing up, it was science. Like I would always do my science homework, and then I would say fuck everything else. And then, like even then, like if the science homework wasn't going to actually teach me anything, I would just ignore it. You know, I would run the numbers on all of my. So I can't believe I'm remembering all this. I would run the numbers off of the syllabus that teachers would give me, and I could be like, okay, so this class, 20% homework is weighted as 20% of the grade. So if I ace everything else, I can get an 80 and never do any homework.
Oh my god,
And
I do a similar thing too. It's
yeah, man, you're a pro. You're a fucking pro at maximizing your time. So right now, like in school, all right. Right now in school, you are optimizing your life for the maximal output, right? You're optimizing your time. You're doing a lot of stuff that I would consider in the real world incredibly important skills. They're just not incentivized in traditional school setting because they want you to do all your fucking homework. When in reality, if you're out there and you're in a job and you want more of your own fucking time to yourself, and you itemize away for whatever system you're working with to do everything that it's doing in 10% less time, guess who just got fucking hired as a partner for that company? Your ass did. It's really interesting to me to see things like that. So what are you studying right now?
I'm in high school.
You're in high school? What grade?
Yeah. 10th.
10th grade. All right. So that means you're a sophomore? Sophomore, yeah. Yeah, that's tough. I was hoping you were in college because then I'd give you a different answer. But honestly, like what I would do right now is like focus on the things that you're passionate about. You're not really in a place where, I could tell you to be like, yeah, you know what? Like, doesn't matter what anyone thinks. Fucking drop out of college. Do whatever the fuck's fancy. You probably still live with your parents, which means you probably should, try and listen to them. But, now's a great time. You're in high school. You have a wealth of time outside of school to try and identify things that you love and that you're good at. So, maybe one of the reasons you're procrastinating, and if it's the same reason as me, it's because you're just not connecting with anything. So you should try and find something that you connect with. And this was the learning trick I did to save myself in high school. So I found subject matter that I really, really loved, and then I found a way to connect all the subjects I hated back to that. So I really liked comedy. So I would try and find a way to like associate math with comedy, or I would try and associate history with comedy. So like some of the lines make a lot of sense. Oh, history, you can make historical jokes. Okay, easy. Now I'll study for this test. Math was harder. But for me, the key to stopping me procrastinating was finally realizing that there was a way that I could use everything I was learning that was advantageous to me. Because until you find that, all the fucking information you're learning it feels meaningless.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. And that's coming from me. I used to be a teacher too. Like I taught before Twitch. So I would try and do that with my students. I would try and identify the ones that didn't give a shit about the subjects I was teaching, and I would try and find what they liked. Then I would try and tailor, a joke or two to try and unlock that in their mind so they could be like, oh. Yeah. So there you go, bro. Hopefully that helps you procrastinate less.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get out there and find something that you love and try and tie it all together. That's what worked for me.
Can I ask, what did you teach?
I taught philosophy, surprise, and science. I was only supposed to teach philosophy, but then they didn't have a science teacher for 6th grade at the school that I went to teach at. And so they just press ganged me into teaching 6th grade science. They're like, just fucking read the book to the kids. So I did. And it was awful. I did not like that one bit.
All right.
All right, man.
Well, I don't really have much else besides, I don't know, the fact that I think there should be a speakeasy and a hot tub. That would be cool.
A speakeasy and a hot tub. What, in my office?
No, just like in general. I don't know.
I got you, man. Do you want to tell these people where they can find you on any of the social medias? Are you doing any social media stuff?
Like AJ Gone Fishing without the G at the end.
AJ Gone Fishing.
Everything.
Okay.
Yep.
On what, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram?
Pretty much everything.
All right, AJ Gone Fishing, guys. Get out there and go fishing with him. All right. You have a good one, dude.
You too, thanks.
All right, bye. I always forget that I was a teacher for a little while. I always forget that that's something that I did in my past was, I was a teacher. I taught at a private school in Puerto Rico. Which is like, all that stuff that goes going on there kind of breaks my heart right now. And I just made myself sad. But yeah, I was a teacher. I'm not anymore, but it's definitely given me a lot of perspective on education, which I try and use on stream and in this format. Because it's important. Learning how to teach is probably one of the best skills you can pick up in your life. Because if you can learn how to teach people stuff, you can also learn how to communicate your ideas better. Ideas. All right. Where are we at? We are at about 50 minutes, which means we'll probably grab one more question. Let's grab Lunar right here. Hello, Lunar. How are you? Hello. How are you, Lunar? Nah, I made him uncomfortable. They're not going to talk. Lunar may be experiencing issues with the program that we use for the call-in show, which is called Discord. I super like it. It's great for gaming communication and stuff like that.
That might help if I had my microphone unmuted.
There you go. See, and as easy as that. Just like when I fuck it up, it's just user error. How are you doing, Lunar?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing excellent. I need to turn you down. People will rage at me. All right. You should be good now.
I can move them.
No, you're good. You're solid. You're solid. I need to do it on my end. It's for all the podcast folks as well.
Well, fair enough.
Oh, yeah. It's so fair. What can I do for you?
I just basically wanted to, since I've been watching since the speedrunning era.
Oh, wow. Okay.
A really, really long time
Been
ago.
watching for a very long time, sir. Yes.
Maybe for the people that haven't been here as long, I want you to walk through like your first experiences, like whenever you first got partnered, like that the overwhelming just shock and awe that you had.
Okay, you want to talk about that? Do you have a question too, or?
Well, it was more along the lines of well, I had one, but I don't remember it right now though.
Think about it. I'll be talking for about 5 minutes. Okay.
All right.
Lunar said that he's been around since speedrunning days. If you're new to Twitch or gaming on the internet, let me explain what speedrunning is. Speedrunning is the art and science of finishing a game as quickly as you possibly can using any and all game mechanics at your disposal. So, if the game's got a big glitch and you can finish in 5 minutes, you'll do that. It's how I got my start on Twitch, which ultimately led to everything else that I do. I started streaming January 2013, January 27th, 2013. And for the first, I want to say 18 months of my career on Twitch, I streamed exclusively speedruns of the game Borderlands 2. I peppered in some other stuff as well. But it was primarily Borderlands 2. Which was a great experience for me. I got involved on Twitch and I got involved in streaming. I got involved in streaming because of the wonderful things that the speedrunning community does for charity. Even if you're not a veteran of Twitch in the gaming space, you might have heard or seen news articles of an event called Games Done Quick. To date, they've raised over $12 million for various charities that they support. I have been involved in Games Done Quick before. I actually did speedruns there in 2014. Did a couple at the event. But that's how I got my start on Twitch. So if he wants to go all the way back when I got partnered, it took me 3 applications to get partnered. I got partnered when I had around 1,000 concurrent viewers all the time because partnership requirements used to be pretty tough. But as far as the way that I was feeling when I got my partner acceptance letter, it was, I don't know, it was it was funny because when I look back on it, I was like, yeah, I did it. But then on the other side of things, and this is the other side of my brain that I really didn't realize that I had until, a little bit further down my career path. I thought, oh, it's fucking go time now. Partnership on Twitch, which I guess we kind of already covered what it is. It's kind of like if you're trying to make content on Twitch, a lot of people think partnership's the end goal. It's as far as like monetization and making money on Twitch, it's not really the end goal. It is passing the job interview. So I was elated that I passed the job interview, but I was ready to prove my value and show like this is why I will be good at broadcasting on Twitch. So that is like that's a bit of my journey as far as how I came to my first little tiny bit of relevance on the platform, starting from zero. Was there any other particular things you wanted me to touch on there, Lunar? Or did you remember your question?
I did.
Awesome.
So after you got partnered, or even before you got partnered, when you started seeing a growth in your channel, like what would be the best advice for people that are in that similar boat, that like they have a fast growing channel?
Sure.
How would they handle like that amount of growth or exponential growth should it happen?
Ooh, shit. Okay, good one. So if you are suddenly experiencing a crazy amount of growth on your channel, and I'm learning more and more that this is true regardless of your creative platform. Okay, like if you're creating on social media, if you're doing videos on YouTube, if you're doing Twitch streaming, if you're doing anything, when you start to have success on one platform, it's really, really easy to check out and go, I made it. And then you drill down and you focus on just that platform and you stop learning. And the second you do that, it might not be immediate, but your ability to create will decelerate over time. Because you're no longer exposing yourself to new things. You're no longer challenging yourself to learn new stuff. And you're just kind of saying, I've made it and now I'm going to be here. That leaves you with a massive vulnerability from a creative standpoint, because what if the platform that you loved goes defunct like Vine? Which is like, that's not a dig on Vine. There were people on Vine that had millions and millions of followers. And then the ones that diversified off of it into, YouTube or Twitch or Instagram or Twitter, they're still doing okay and they can keep creating. But the people who leveraged all of their effort into one platform suffered. So the second that you realize you have some momentum going, you have captured the crowd's attention and you are on the wave. That is the moment that, instead of relaxing, because it is the moment you've been waiting for so long, that is the moment when you should work harder than ever at diversifying your offerings. Now, my issue was, when I was streaming, let's say Destiny launch, after 3 months, I was averaging 1,000 to 2,000 followers a day. I averaged that many followers for the entire first year that Destiny was out. It was absolutely insane. If I could go back and play those cards again, I would do all of that, except throughout the entire time, instead of just trying to get people to be following me on Twitch, I would have been promoting my YouTube more. I would have been promoting my Instagram. I would have been promoting every other social platform I could, because the more relevance that you have, your relevance across all social platforms as a creator is kind of like your job security. And you need to look after it. And it is so easy when people are riding that high of like, oh my God, like the guy that I love, I found him, he's growing, it's crazy, thousands of followers every day, it's fucking nuts. And then you're like, by the way, I have an Instagram. Shit, I want to be on this guy's everything. Like, and they'll follow you. So when you're in that exponential growth cycle, you can really snowball it into something awesome if you don't get lazy.
Right.
So my advice is don't get lazy. Keep on pushing. Yeah.
Keep on keeping on.
Keep on keeping on. You know, the things that you might not have that hunger, right? Like, I guess that would be the way that I would describe my attitude during like that year or two when I was, you know, averaging just an insane amount of followers every day on Twitch. Was I was like, this couldn't get any better. And I was incredibly grateful and happy and satisfied. And I don't say this to get you to change your emotional attitude about it. Anyone who's listening that's about to be, you know, careening towards the rockets of success, I say this because the reality was it could have been better, and I just didn't realize it. You know, if you have, you need to keep up the level of audacity that you have. Like, it's a pretty audacious idea to think like, I'm going to play video games on the internet and I'm going to make a living wage salary doing that from random strangers who think I'm funny. Like, that's a fucking absurd thing to believe. You know, but the audacity to believe that could possibly be true is why I'm here. What I didn't realize was I should have had a little bit more of that, you know, tenacity when I was blowing up to be like, well, if they think I'm awesome here, they're going to think I'm awesome everywhere. And that's, you know, I think that's the biggest piece of advice I could give to anyone who's just sort of coming into their own success-wise in the creator space is the second that you grab success, you need to start building out as quick as you can, because you have no idea how high that tide is going to go. You have no idea how long the wave is going to last. And if you're not prepared for it, you are going to be put into kind of a crisis situation when things begin to decline. And I hate seeing people have a moment and then disappear. And I think that happens a lot because of lack of foresight, which is, you know, I guess why I'm giving you this advice.
Oh, well, this is more along lines for the people that are growing. I'm not. I just stream occasionally just to make sure I have records of PvP events in Destiny 1
Oh, yeah,
and 2.
man. Recording for posterity is huge. I'm a big fan. Even if you don't, then here's the thing, and I wanted to say this because this is awesome. Even if you don't think you're ever going to be like super successful on Twitch or anything, like, but what if it happened?
Yeah, I don't. That's another reason why I asked. I have no idea what I would do. I've never been in that kind of position.
Yeah. I think it's great to prepare for it, even if even if you don't ever think you might make it there. You know, archiving your stuff is huge. Like, one of my favorite examples, and I'm just straight ripping this off, about, you know, the power of recording your content and just tracking events in your life is straight from Gary V. Could you imagine if Mark Zuckerberg had a video of the moment he pushed Facebook Live for the first time? Like, how many fucking views do you think that video would have? Like, how much relevance would that have, like, throughout all of human history? Like, it would be fucking crazy.
Pretty mind-blowing.
Yeah, it would be mind-blowing. Like, it would probably be the most viewed piece of content ever to exist. Up to this point in mankind, I would have next to no doubts about that, because that was such a sentinel event in human history, and it started in some guy's garage uploading a web page, you know. So keep doing that, even if you know it's worth the modicum of effort that you have to record it. It sounds like you're already doing it because you like it, which is great. But, you know, recording things for posterity, is huge, and you don't know where you're going to go. And, you know, having that archive of, you know, this was the first time I did X, or, you know, this is the first time I went flawless, or whatever, is a great piece of content to go back to if you do ultimately become incredibly successful. It's just right there in your pocket for whenever you want to blow yourself up again. On, you know, you can go, oh, right. Hey guys, what's 10-year anniversary? Here's my first stream ever. Bam, viral. You know what I mean?
look how much you've changed in like 10 years. It's like
Yeah,
completely
exactly.
different.
Exactly.
Everything just evolves over the journey.
Absolutely, man. It's really really fucking cool. So yeah, man. Thank you for your questions, and thank you for watching for what is almost 5 years. I mean, I'm sure.
It's been a little bit. It was I think it was a couple of years after I joined the service. So you've kept me going along through several deployments. So
Oh my gosh. Well,
your
thank you for
content
your
is
service, man.
not everybody supports it, but it's greatly appreciated.
No,
But, I appreciate you sitting down and talking with me and like answering the questions and being like chill with everything.
Absolutely, man. You're an incredible person. Thank you for making my dreams come true. And if you ever need anything, make sure you hit me up on Twitter. If there's something I can do, I'd love to help.
You're already doing it. Just keep doing what you do.
All right, man. I will. Thank you.
All right. You have a good one.
You too, man. Yeah, I just gave Lunar all that advice, guys, because I don't have any of that shit archived. I think the oldest archive I have of my broadcasts might be like one of my speedrun world record attempts that I'm sure we could watch one day. I'll have hair. It'll be super awkward. Oh my God. Now I want to go find that shit. I definitely don't have an archive of my first stream ever. Oh God, what a train wreck that was. I used to stream. Okay, you guys want to hear? We'll end the podcast with this. When I got started making content, I was sitting in my office, or not my office, in my living room with my now ex-wife's laptop, a Hopog capture card, and an Xbox 360. I had horrible audio delay. I didn't know how to fix it. Didn't care to fix it at all. And anyone who was like, "You have audio delay," I was like, "Fuck it. This broadcast isn't for you. I'm here to hang out with my friends." It was a terrible experience, but I fell in love with doing what I did because I had one guy show up that I like that wasn't part of my group of friends, called Black Ryan, like 292 or something. No bunch of numbers. And I was like, who the hell is this? And it's some random guy. And I spent like 3 hours talking to him. We got to know each other. And it was a really fun time. And that sort of like, I guess, revealed the magic of what Twitch was to me. Like, this is a way to connect with people that is around gaming, but a way to connect with people like I have never experienced before. And I fell in love with the platform. And, that's what brought me here. So, thank you guys for hanging out today. If you're listening on iTunes or Stitcher or SoundCloud or Google Play or Spotify, hopefully, thank you very much. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast, share it with your friends, share it with your grandma, give me a rating, give me a 1-star. I don't give a shit. Give me a 5-star because you're my best friend. Either one is fine. I just like to know what you think, and I want to say thank you for spending some of your time with me at all today. And I appreciate that. Thank you very much. And I'll catch you guys next time on episode 8 of Ask Broman, which will be in time TBD. Peace and have fantastic evenings, folks.